Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lamp.
Also at the start of the show, we mentioned about the multitude of events that it takes to grow and farm food here in New Zealand. And one of those is on right now in Wellington, the Animal and Plant Health New Zealand conference. Joining us now is Liz Shackleton, Dr Liz Shackleton, the CEO, with some guests. Hi, Liz.
Sure, Sarah and Andy, huge fans of the show, and thanks a million for reaching out.
Hey, so can you tell us who's sitting with you at the table?
Well, we were laid down the challenge to show what green shoots of our conference AFANS was showing, and I don't think I could think of anything better than part of our amazing emerging leaders cohort. So I can chat to you a wee bit about some of the celebration we're doing today about them too.
So firstly, though, just with regards to the conference today, what is the mood on the floor from those attending?
Right, so let's look at the vibe. Winter, stunning winter's day in Wellington, winter in the seasonal calendar, always a really good chance to come together to reconnect and reflect. Look, and let's be honest, folks, it's been a brutally hard year for many in the membership. I mean, we've seen the exit of R&D from New Zealand for some companies as well. But look, that's the reality. But the vibe I would describe on the floor today is the industry looking straight into the fire. And what we're hearing are some incredible stories and insights around the type of strength and growth that can only come out of the tough stuff, right? So we've had a brilliant morning here and lots of inspiring discussions. So I can, if you're keen to hear, I can talk about who we heard from.
Yeah, absolutely. Just before we do that, Liz, not everyone has, as we've talked about, there's a lot of organisations, not everyone might fully understand who and what Animal and Plant Health New Zealand is. What do you actually do? What's your organisation? Who do you represent?
Oh, thanks, Andy. So look, if you grow food in this country, if you eat food in this country, if you have animals that need medicines, these are the group that support them. So we're really proud to represent the companies that research, develop, make, sell and distribute animal medicines and crop protection products. So represent 82 different members, really proud of that. So yeah, thank you so much for the question. So the toolkit for a bunch of good stuff for the primary sector and biosecurity, environment and conservation.
You were saying there around today's conference, I understand Minister Nicola Grigg wearing her Minister for, I can't say the environment anymore, MCERT, but particularly around this government's tone on green tech, agri-tech and biotech more than anything.
Yes, so look, even before, fantastic to have the Honourable Minister Nicola Griggs with us this morning. Her address was more the personal resilience and the personal story of her background and really the importance of roots and community through tough times. Prior to that, we had a record attendance. We do an annual leadership breakfast and we were really pleased to see more than 60 leaders across the sector and 12 MPs and ministers turn up to that meeting this morning. And then fantastic also to have a regulator panel there as well. So this is something AFAN set up 2 years ago where we actually invite the regulators into the room to have a panel discussion. So we also had Chair of the EPA there today. We also joined with the Deputy Director General of Food Safety and also, Director of MCERT. Yeah, the acronyms change by the day. And that was brilliantly facilitated by Riley Kennedy. So, a lot of discussion about the political cycle, trying to put through change in the most competitive legislative programme in many years. So fantastic engagement this morning. We also had business leaders. So what a quote out of Catherine Beard from Business New Zealand this morning. New Zealand, we are a minnow, so we don't just need good regulation, we need great regulation. AFANs are a bit of we like to associate as a bit of a relative minnow ourselves, so we do have to swim faster. So a lot of recognition of, the challenges we're up against, but also some real wins in there. And look, 3 really big themes stood out from this morning's discussions around green shoots. I'm really happy to chat about that if you're interested.
Yeah, I was just interested. I do want to talk about that, and maybe one of the green shoots, as you talked about the regulatory reality check. And are you starting to see now, after the 18 months since the release of the Ministry's Regulators Agricultural and Horticultural Products Review, are we starting to see reduced wait times for products approvals yet? Are we starting to see some tangible results?
So very much a marathon journey we're on today. So I think there was several pieces that were chatted about. When I look at the first thing that was chatted about, it's actually what can be achieved together. So let's look at the legislative, like that has actually been quite a significant milestone. So we've arguably had more than 100 parliamentary bills moving through the House in the last 2 years. The fact that 2 bills of significant importance to a very small sector, ACVM and Hasno, even made it past first reading, that is actually collective testament to officials, industry and government getting in behind a shared priority. So that was seen as a win. It was an important first step. But again, the real challenge that was discussed in the room is that, 8 weeks left this term, how do we get that through and what do we do if we don't? So some fantastic, really honest discussions with everyone in the room today. And look, the other big thing that came through in terms of grassroots, Andy, was the conversation in nearly every corner today has been, man, change is just so hard. Why is it taking so long to turn the ship around? Real honest and open debate, and credit to the regulators. We had a fantastic engaged panel this morning to hear them fronting. They've also promised they'll come back next year so we can actually engage next year. So we'll take them up on that offer absolutely wholeheartedly. I think what came through was 3 things. We're absolutely not there yet. 3 things were talked about we're on this wave of momentum, but how do we actually get on and surf the wave? Better data, working smarter with the use of trusted overseas regulator amendments. Some stuff there in the legislative stuff that's coming through that's positive, but the reality is on the ground operationally, there's levers we can pull. And the third one, and probably the one we're most proud of here, folks, is the emerging leaders. This is a marathon. We've a new generation coming through that need energy and resilience to lead this. And a great testament is while we were clumsily struggling to get the VC set up today, these emerging leaders have it sorted in 2 seconds. So I'll give you that. That's like. You're probably showing my age, Sarah.
No, you've got to have strength in generations, around the table, Liz, and acknowledging those that are sitting around the table. Some familiar faces I can see there. Could you introduce who you've got sitting with you?
Thanks so much, Sarah. So, we have a cohort of 39 emerging leaders we're proud to support. And I think over the last 2 years, there was a last minute text message that went around quickly going, I can think of 4 people that have done incredible things in the last year. How do you want to be on Countrywide? And big fans of Sarah and Andy in the house as well. So we've got the people who are generating data. So let's look at, there's 2 incredible Kellogg scholars we've got in the room. So we've Lisa Lunn here from Farmlands, and we've also got Clinton Prince, who's currently in the midst of his Kellogg. Both really amazing, courageous topics. So we've had Lisa do her work on gene editing and gene technology. She's also informed a lot of what we've looked and put industry context into around gene technology. We've then also had Clinton. He's kicked off this amazing bit to identify data gaps around biologicals, which we all know is a real area of interest. So also a huge tip of the cap to the amazing good human beings and rural leaders and James for all the work they do there. And look, these 2 beside me probably need no introduction, but I mean, look at Nicole Morris. Her and Lisa were our AFANS Award Emerging Leaders recipients in 2024. And Nicole's gone on in a really challenging environment, 2 amazing female leaders, cutting edge innovation companies at really challenging times. So she stepped up recently into a general manager role. And then, Sarah Jews, the first female lead in Asia Pacific for her organization. So I couldn't think, if I asked if there's green shoots we're seeing in a difficult year, I only have to look to the left and the right of me. So incredible people. And for Clinton, we get a shout out. If you're interested in biologicals, please bail Clinton up and help him have an absolutely fantastic Kellogg. So thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to our amazing green shoots that we've got right here in the room.
Dr. Liz Shackleton, thank you very much for being on the show and joining us. We know it's a very busy time for you today with your conference. Understand a co-host of the show, George Dodson, is just up now, heading into a panel around innovation. So we'll have to talk to George a little bit more about his experience on the show. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful conference, and I really enjoyed you bringing the cohort of emerging leaders on as well.
Life is better with friends. Thanks a million to you both. Have a great rest of your day. See ya.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, did you see all those wonderful women around the table? Far too busy to make scones for their men.
Right. Okay. I consider myself. Do you know what I was thinking though? When we had a production meeting yesterday, and I made the observation that our team at Countrywide Connect would make the ideal pub quiz team.
Yes.
Because
we've got that diversity of thought.
Yeah, but I'd need a couple of them.
Yes, they're very, very smart.
That would be a very good. I was thinking that would be a very good pub quiz team.
That'd be very good on the science section. So what section would you be good at?
I'm actually
sport.
I'm okay as sport. I'm better general knowledge.
Like history, wars, that type of thing?
all that sort of stuff. I mean, many hours spent watching, YouTube and World War II documentaries and Vietnam War documentaries and World War I documentaries,
What I'd love is them to have a farming section in the quiz because, then we would really nail it, wouldn't we?
Would we really?
We've talked about this in the past, and young farmers would host us, wouldn't they? A rural commentator, broadcaster, journalist quiz.
Yes, has been talked about.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep talking about it.
Do we get the Kamata on that as well?
This is Jamie Mackay. Yes, of course he has to be on there.
And I did notice...
And he could be the quiz master when he retires, but no one knows when that will be.
Well, no. I did notice, though, they did have Riley Kennedy facilitating.
That would have been really fun to watch.
I would have liked to have seen that. I would have almost paid to have watched that, to be honest.
Yes, Riley Kennedy is
a
good friend of the show, business desk journalist, and does a fantastic job. So if you're catching us, Animal and Health, Plant Health Conference in Wellington.
Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lapp.